It is Sunday, May 24th. Welcome to the COVID-19 Task Force Daily Update. On a beautiful weekend, we finish up on a Sunday, and joining us on today's update is Ietsénhaienhs Kahsennenhawe Sky Deer, who joins us live. And let's welcome her along. How are you doing, Gus?
Pretty good, Joe and Yawa.
All right. Well, let's get right down to business. I know it's been a challenge. Everybody has to live life differently during this whole pandemic. You, as a council chief, have had to change the way you operate, all 12 of you, and so it's been a special challenge. What's it been like for you?
I guess it has its pros and cons. One thing, I'm definitely not a morning person, so it's been nice to roll over and get into a council meeting at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. Call them pajama meetings. No, joking aside though, I mean, that's always been, I guess, a convenience, but the challenge of being on a call, you know, you don't get that interpersonal connection with your colleagues when you're having discussion and dialogue about important issues and matters in the community. So in Zoom meetings, I mean, technology sometimes doesn't work in our favor. There's technical difficulties, so that's been a challenge. But overall, I think I've been adapting really well to the situation and finding, you know, creative ways to still do the work, still communicating with community members through text message, messenger, you know, and just moving forward. I mean, everybody's, like you said, trying to find ways to adapt and go with the flow, I guess, of the challenges that we're faced with. But overall, I seem to be adapting pretty well, and it's going good.
You mentioned talking to people and still connecting with people. What are people talking to you about, aside from, you know, if there's any political matters? And we'll get into that in a little while. But what are community members saying to you in terms of this whole situation that we find ourselves in? Are people more positive? Are they having more difficulty? What's your sense of it?
I think it depends on the person and the reality that they're in. I mean, I think for people who live alone, it's a lot more challenging, you know, the isolation of being alone, having to, I guess, you know, not being able to visit with our elders, our grandparents, or, you know, people who are in our families that are in a higher risk category. You know, that stuff is more challenging. But I think overall, people are finding ways to, you know, stay busy. The weather's nicer now. You could see a lot more people are out planting and cleaning up their yards. So I guess it depends on the people that I run into, if it's on the bike path or, you know, out on the street. You know, just saying that they're happy they're in Kahnawake because there's a lot of support here. We're fortunate in that way that, you know, we could all kind of still be there for each other and help at a socially distanced, you know, way of doing things now. And yeah, so everybody's reality is different. And I think the big concern right now is this looming June 1st date. I'm hearing mixed reviews. Some people saying it's about time. Others are like, what are we thinking? We're crazy. You know, we need to hold off. So I think it also is how people are looking and viewing the COVID-19 pandemic, if they're afraid of it or if they're just like, you know what, if I get it, I get it. Because there's a lot of people who are very nonchalant about it, and there's a lot of people who are still very anxious and, you know, afraid, genuinely, because, you know, we're seeing what happened with the Navajo Nation in the United States, and we definitely don't want that to be the reality here in Kahnawake. So, you know, I guess it depends. Again, each individual is different, and the way them and their families are taking this seriously or not.
Yeah, you mentioned the Navajos with the incredibly, you know, concerning numbers. Here in Kahnawake, it's a little bit different. We've been very fortunate. How much of it do you credit to the work that the task force has done? And how much do you credit to the people themselves?
Well, I mean, the task force is there every day, you know, updating the community on some of the directives they're putting forth. But if the community wasn't abiding by the directives and just dismissing them, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in where, there's no deaths, there's very minimal amount of cases. So I think it's a collective effort, and I think it's hats off to everybody that, we've come this far, 2.5, almost 3 months in now. And I think we're doing a great job all around. So we have to keep that up. I mean, I know the next couple of weeks are going to be, I guess, a true test, if you will, of how we can maneuver opening up business and the community, but still implementing the safeguards that are necessary, wearing masks, keeping the 6 feet distance, and the gatherings to a minimum. I mean, I know it's nicer now, and people are going to want to have barbecues and big parties and all of that, and hopefully it's going to soften. I mean, I know in all of Quebec right now, it's as long as this group's under 10, I think Kahnawake is still not encouraging that. But in the next little while, we just have to find ways of because we're going to want to be with our families, and just being safe and cautious, because we still don't understand fully the virus and its transmissions, if it's in the air and we're just breathing in each other's air, and if you don't know you have it and you could be transmitting it, so what about pools, and if we're all swimming in the same pool? So you just want to be cautious, because again, we're trying to protect our vulnerable population. It's about our elders, our first language speakers. We all have those special people in our lives that we want to ensure that they don't contract this virus, because they'll have a less chance of recovering from it. So it's important. I think we're doing really good, though.
As a council chief, I know early on you were, one of your portfolios you were working on was working with the youth, but at the same time now you're now working on the culture and language has become, it's always been an important part of your life as someone who speaks and continues to learn the language. What kind of messages do you have first for the young people, because they may have a different perception of what is going on in terms of COVID-19, and then something about the elders?
I know young people feel they're invincible, and that it's not going to affect me. And I think the message that has been consistent is it's not about them, right? If, for instance, young people contract it, chances are they're going to recover and move on. But it's just taking all of those extra measures to ensure that they don't spread it to other people, So in terms of a message for the youth, we don't want to limit your life, because I know I'm looking around and I still see young people are, they're out there at the quarry, they're on their bikes, or it's kind of like life is going on, and just to be cognizant, try to take precautions, wash your hands consistently, before you eat, and just keep in mind that, as a community, we're all doing this together, and just keep our elders in mind. That's really who this is about. We want to protect our elders, and to our elders, well, ayawa si skana gahage, wagadi andre zi wadore zi yatamdo as a watkato ne za huadzire ziniot wadahunzoni. So Konexa de harda toga giga dohetste yo snore yatabagaderi andre nexi, yori hawana zi skana zawanyot nyuhage dano zatstane de yatarakwa chadoni zirage dano zatarhas gatne zahuadzire kononukwa zawagwego dasa zawatsanis wagre giga adwadohetste Giga, the heads to Giga Zosra Toga. So just hang in there. Gadenyanda, Angat State Dokara, Nigawana again, Anganeha, Yuri Hawana. And Togayata Zatsta ne Tkawana Tkayeri Wana Sua Wawgadin Yanda. So, you know, for our elders out there, I know it's scary. I know you miss your families. Use the phone. It's important that, you know, we keep this distance right now. I know it's very hard, and try to keep your spirits up. I'm hopeful that this is going to pass at some point, maybe by the end of the summer, maybe the end of the year. I don't know, but just know that we're taking all these necessary precautions to protect you because we love you.
All right.
So.
Well, I think that was very well said, and that's probably a great place to end our interview today, Gus. Kahsennenhawe Sky Deer. Thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your time. I know you've been working hard on that in that backyard, and probably still doing a little work as we speak. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you soon.
All right, Nyawa.
There you go. Ietsénhaienhs, Kahnawake Sky Deer of the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake. As they continue, there's just a little bit of news I guess I should mention from the MCK, is that normally during the summer, the July and August, those months, the council meetings, the formal Monday meetings are usually put aside, and other meetings will go on, but they take kind of a break as people move around and take some vacation time. This year looks like it's going to be a little different. While we're in the pandemic, all the meetings will continue as normal. The other meetings that happen on a regular basis on Tuesday will continue. So just thought it would be interesting to give you that piece of information. As Kahsennenhawe stated early in her talk today, she mentioned June 1st is coming up. That's just over a week from now. That is the date that has been set for the possible reopening of Kahnawake business to the outside. Again, pay attention all week long, because we've said 100 times, if not 1,000, that it is a tentative date. It's looking good at this point, but no one wants to confirm that. We cannot confirm. We have to take all of the information that is available to us, both from the medical side, the scientific side, and the common sense side. So just stay in tune with us here on the COVID-19 daily updates, and we'll keep you up to date. And as we said yesterday, any information that you need, as soon as we're off here, you will see all those numbers. We always post them after every program. Get your pen and paper right now if you need any information. Those numbers are posted all the time, and they are available as well at the covid-19.kmhc.ca website. So that'll do it for us. There's a big week coming up. All week long we should have lots of developments. So we'll be here for you every step of the way from the COVID-19 task force. We thank you for joining us on a beautiful day, and we shall see you next time. Nyao, go adano, onigi wahi.